Hey guys, it's T. Kyle, and I'm back again today with another story time that you guys requested. And today I'm going to be telling you about the time that a Grindr hookup showed up to my apartment with a gun. I wish I was kidding. I'm not. Okay, so this happened over the summer. It's pretty recent, actually. And if you don't know what Grindr is, it's basically an app on your phone, and it's used by gays to hook up and date. And it's actually, in retrospect, like when you think about when your parents teach you, like, never talk to strangers, it's literally that. So basically, it locates you and it finds gays around an area, and you guys can talk, you can hang out, you can go on a date, whatever you want, basically. It's just like a messaging app, social hookup app. Any gay who tells you that they've never used Grindr is a liar, okay? You're a liar. As Kelly Dodd would say, you are absolutely a liar. Everyone has been on it. Okay, so I'm on this app, and there's this guy, and we're chatting, and we chatted on and off for a good couple weeks, and we just never found time to meet up. And he had an Instagram. He followed me on Instagram. I followed him back. I was like scrolling through, checking to make sure that he was a real person. I'm like the DMV of Grindr. I want to see your Instagram, your Facebook. I'm gonna Google you. I want to see your tax returns. I want your latest utility bill. I need everything. I want to know that you are a real person because I have had some experiences. So finally a couple weeks go by, and one day he messages me and he's like, hey, I'm in your area. What are you doing? And I was like, we make plans to meet up. So I invite him over to hang out and fool around, whatever. So he comes over, he's cool, we hang out, we fool around a little bit, and yeah. So afterwards we're chatting, we're talking about how dating is such a flop in New York, which is ironic because like, this is off Grindr, which is like also a flop, whatever. So we're just having a conversation, and he's like, oh, you live alone, like, doesn't it freak you out inviting people over to your apartment? And I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't really do it, because I do live alone, and I don't want people randomly coming to my apartment that I don't know. He agrees with me, and he's like, yeah, you know, well, I saw your Instagram, and I watched some of your YouTube videos, and I was just like, but he was like, you seemed normal and cool, so I wanted to come hang out. So I was like, oh, okay. Then I think, keeping the conversation going, I ask him the same question. I say, you know, what about you? Doesn't it freak you out showing up to someone's apartment? And he goes, no, I'm packing. Now I knew in that instant what he meant when he said he was packing, which, if you guys don't get it, it's a gun. Like when you pack a gun, that's like the word for it. Instantly I'm like, ooh, okay. So I think, let me, you know, make this less awkward. So I'm like, yeah, you sure are packing. You know, trying to be like funny, to which he immediately responds, like his face goes super serious and goes, no, I have a gun. And I was like, He was super mask for mask, like Jersey, really didn't have a sense of humor. So I couldn't get a read off of him. Like I was like, do you have a sense of humor? Are you being serious? Are you trying to freak me out? Like what's your deal? Like, bro. Then he gets up. He gets up off my couch and starts walking, and I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like, what is that supposed to mean? Because he like did not get my joke, and he like didn't think it was funny. So he gets up and starts walking towards his backpack. It was like this huge backpack, and I'm like, what? So as he's walking over to his backpack, I think like, oh, let me make this funny, you know, like break the conversation, make him stop walking over to the bag. Why are you walking over to the bag? Like, what are you doing with the bag? So I just am like, oh, why do you have a gun? He turns around and he tells me this whole story about how he works as an undercover security guard for EMT medical services. So he has to go to these crime-ridden areas and accompany like ambulance workers, whatever those like EMT medical people are, and like shoot back at people that are trying to hijack the ambulance. He tells me this whole story about how last week he was accompanying an ambulance and this gang jumped the ambulance and he had to start firing back and they got into this shootout, and I'm just like, I I gotta go. Like, you gotta go. So I was like, oh, I was like, thanks for coming over. Like, well, see ya. Like, cool. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I gotta get going. I gotta go back to work. I was like, oh, hopefully you don't have to shoot anybody today. I don't want to see someone with a pistol in my apartment. You're gonna freak me the f out. I'm gonna have nightmares. I don't believe in guns. I think they're stupid. An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, and a gun for a gun leaves the whole world dead. I don't believe in them. I don't want to see it. No one needs a gun. Rage on my ass. Don't shoot me. I should make that my new Grindr profile headline. And that's my story. And it's actually not the scariest Grindr story that I had. I actually had a more horrifying incident a couple years ago, but that, again, is for a different day and a different time. And I'm sure that my family members are watching this and thinking, oh my God, what the f are you doing? You know, living life on the edge. That's what I'm doing. Thanks for watching. If you guys like this story, make sure to give me a thumbs up below so that I know, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope that when you're looking for someone to rage on your ass, you don't get shot. I will see you guys next week. Actually, I may see you guys a little bit sooner with a new series, and then another story next week.